So when the first Borderlands trailer came out, I thought it looked pretty good, but as more marketing materials have come out and as we're getting closer to the movie, I'm not entirely sure I'm that excited for it. And you guys know how video game adaptations go. Some of them are really good, some of them not nearly as much. So I'm curious to see what content creators, critics, and influencers think so far about Borderlands. Let's check out the first reaction to the Borderlands movie. Let's do it. So let's check out these first reactions for Borderlands. We've got Barry Herz, who says Borderlands, the unironic feature-length equivalent of Tar finale, in which Cate Blanchett comes to horrifying realization her career is now in the hands of, whoa, nerds. But even nerds have better taste than Roth's abysmally boring IP strip mining. Woo, wow, that's cooking. Borderlands right off the start. Sounds like things are not going too well. Let's continue. My good friend Adriano Caruso, my good friend Adriano here, who says, Borderlands is a disaster filled with every cliche you can ponder. This film swaps the mayhem and imagination of games for a lifeless, unfunny, and visually repulsive dud with annoying characters and a cast with not 1 ounce of chemistry. Oh my gosh. Woo, that makes Borderlands sound pretty bad, but hey, you know what? I don't know. I like the figures on the cast. I'm not entirely sure when I saw the trailer though that they had that much chemistry from what I had seen. Sounds like from Adriano's point of view, not great chemistry at all. Wow, that's pretty disappointing so far. Let's continue. We've got Nick Van Dinter, who says Borderlands is borderline unwatchable. Woo. The violence is bland and uninspired. The chemistry is non-existent, and the trajectory of the story is both boring and painfully obvious. I had no expectations for this, and yet I was somehow let down. Borderlands movie. Woo-wee. So, sounds like it was below some low expectations even. Borderline unwatchable. Bland, we've seen that. It's bland in 2 reviews and reactions so far. Uninspired, it just sounds like, woof. It's not a great film so far. I mean, at least from these reactions and these points of views. But this person says, Borderlands is easily one of the worst movies of the year. Fans will be pissed off with how much they get the characters wrong, especially Tina. Casual moviegoers will be unimpressed at how much it feels like a half-baked Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. Oh my goodness. So that's a lot of the criticisms I heard from the trailer, was that it sounded like, or looked like, excuse me, and probably sounded like too, a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. And I understand where that criticism comes from. It seems like movies are trying to do that a lot more often lately. I mean, listen, Gunn did do the Suicide Squad, but even that felt a little Guardians-ish, and now seems like they want to get a piece of that pie, and with the Borderlands crew, and Tina's not done well. Man, that sucks. Let's continue with Edgar Ortega. Good to see you, man, who says Borderlands feels like what an out-of-touch executive thinks the cool kids find appealing. There's not a single earnest character moment here, just obnoxious quips that feel dated as soon as they leave the actors' mouths. It's not even so bad it's good, just a complete mess. Oh man, so not even like entertainingly bad like Madam Web kind of was. Yikes, this is just like bad, like just, oh man, that description on it. Thinking what the kids find good. Oh no, man, that sounds rough, guys. Not entirely sure about this one, y'all, but yeah, it sounded like across the board so far, pretty bad reviews. Like not even one of them so far has said that, oh, it's okay, it might be pretty good. Like no, all of them have stirred toward the bad territory. We've got Darren Movie Reviews, who says Borderlands movie is a baffling video game adaptation. There's potential for great world building, but it never happens due to a rushed and dull screenplay. The set design is impressive, but the film looks cheap due to poor CGI. Ooh, Cate Blanchett, Ariana Greenblatt, and Jack Black are all great, even if their characters are underdeveloped and the majority of the jokes fall flat. And while the video game carries an M rating, the film carries a PG-13. and you could tell it forced Eli Roth into an uncomfortable space as he tried to create a fun and bizarre space adventure. Not bad, but utterly forgettable. Oh man, I thought it was rated R. Oh man, that's news to me, y'all. Well, that lets you know that, but at least we get some mentions of some good performances on this one. Cate Blanchett, Ariana Greenblatt, and Jack Black. Sounds like some usual suspects doing very well, but wow, that sucks that he's caged into that PG-13 box. Uh-oh, we got another one that says, hey, I can tell you I've seen Borderlands Movie Now, and it's really bad. I really wanted to like it, but an uninspired plot, several phoned-in performances. Woo! Plus being stuck in a weird place where it looks both expensive and cheap at the same time make it a huge misfire. Oh man, this is sounding worse and worse and worse as we continue to read. Wow, they're saying it was a misfire. There's phoned in performances. It's not shaping up too well for Borderlands now, is it? Ooh, that sounds pretty bad, guys. Let's continue. We've got from the Hollywood Handle. Says Borderlands is a fun PG-13 action movie. It completely relies on Cate Blanchett's star power to carry itself to the finish line, and she delivers. While there's nothing that particularly makes it stand out from the crowd, the film is enjoyable from start to finish, has decent pacing throughout. Jack Black is also a comedic powerhouse. Aside from some corny flashback scenes and acting decisions that don't always land, Borderlands is nothing to complain about, but nothing to rejoice over. Okay, so finally we stumble upon a reaction that appears to be in the middle of the road. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. Yeah, it still sounds, woof, even that sounds kind of rough, but sounds like Cate Blanchett really leads and ushers them to that finish line that they so desperately needed. But Jack Black, glad to see him doing yet another iconic performance. It's always great to have him in films. I don't know, it sounds to me like Kevin Hart and Jamie Lee Curtis, maybe not that great. There hasn't been a single mention of either of them. We've got Big Gold Media who says, while Borderlands is not perfect and has its flaws, it still delivers a ton of fun and action-packed moments. There are plot twists and turns at every corner that keep you engaged. The casting and performances perfectly captured each character, truly bringing the video game to life. Wow, okay. So we've got our first positive review here that says it captures the characters, brings a video game to life, has some fun action sequences and comedic moments. Okay. Well, hey, it sounds like possibly it could be a lot of fun. I wonder how video game players will feel about this. I played a good amount of the first one, some of the second. I'm wondering just how well the characters are going to be adapted. Like I said at the beginning of this video game adaptations are always up and down, like good or bad. There's some pretty big stinkers out there. So if this isn't good, it's not that it's non-believable, but hey, I'm glad that some people are enjoying it. We've got Josh Blumenkranz who says, Borderlands is the worst movie I've seen this year. There is no heart or emotion in a lackluster script based off of a video game. Some humor from Jack Black, not even Cate Blanchett or Jamie Lee Curtis can save this. Too many ideas and all over the place. Ruh-roh. So that's one that didn't even love Cate Blanchett's performance. Man, it's sounding pretty rough for Borderlands. Out of all of these reactions, we had one or two that were like middle of the road, one that said it was good, and then most of them saying it's bad. You know, you guys got to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Are you anticipating Borderlands? How do you feel about Borderlands? Do you think it's going to do any good in the box office? Do you think people are going to enjoy this film, or do you think it just looks like a Guardians of the Galaxy knockoff? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, and hey, if you're new to Geekly Goods, the name is Leo Rydell. We release geeky videos every single day. That's reactions, reviews, and more. So go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button down below if you're new, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.